So it's about 10 after 3, paddles in the water, got all of our stuff going. It was a mad dash for the end there. I think we're heading straight that way. You can see the portage trail, looks like it's pretty cleared. And this is just a small little lake that the highway is right behind us here. You're going to see somebody go by right away here. And so just load, paddle, unload, rinse and repeat. So that was the first portage. It was about 700 meters. And I don't know if you can see you could hear the humming of all the mosquitoes and flies in the woods, but they all kind of regroup here right when the portage starts. And so you'll see here, I've just put the canoe, hopefully we can float it to the end there. So I'll be loading her up, and I guess we'll see, I think, a little ways to go to get to the next portage, probably on that lake down and to the right a bit, and I think we should be there. So it's around 5 o'clock and we're just finishing up the last portage. So this one is 250. There was just a little pullover. I didn't do a quick video of it or anything, but so looks like we're gonna half loaded the canoe and then just finishing her second load. And a lot of this portage is about 250 meters, but you know, you kind of start at the top of the hill and you just portage everything down the hill, which is kind of weird how that went, but it's nice to go down the hill instead of up the hill for sure. But looking forward to paddling. I guess this is Roundish Lake, and there's an island over there somewhere that Rick says is an excellent camp spot. So that's what we're shooting for today. Hopefully it's only, I think, about 1.5 kilometers or something of paddling, and we should be putting our feet up. So we're here on the island in Roundish. It's about half-hour paddle across and circled the island till we found this camp spot. So it's got a little fire pit and you know, a couple of different ways down to the water, but it's a bit of a climb either way. And you can see right now we're just setting our tents up. There's kind of looks like a newish type of a camp spot, so kind of very rustic. So we'll be setting up on some very soft moss, which is usually a good idea. And Lynn's kind of got more of a stable place here. Beyond that, there's not really an awful lot more here, so I guess it was good there was only 2 of us. You can see my canoe just floating free there. Don't worry, I do have it tied up, so we should be good. But you can see it is a little ways down to the water. So tomorrow, I think it's off past that little island there, and then we continue, and that's when the portages start. Tomorrow, I think there's like 10 portages. First 5 average about 120 meters each. Then there's a 700 meter monster, and then well, we'll see. They say tomorrow's the tough day, and after that is beautiful. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, I mean, if we can stop doing things for a few minutes and just look around, this is such a beautiful place. I would almost say that it makes the portages worth it, but boy, I was breathing hard on those portages. It's a little after 4, and I'm just shooting this, or sorry, a little after 7, sorry, it's 4 after 7, and just sitting here having a coffee. Most of my tent, the inside of my tents I'll put away, and coffee's made obviously. I'm just gonna rest and enjoy the morning for a little bit here before I go and put the tent away and we get things rocking. So it's about 10 to 9. Got out a little later than we thought we would, but everything is loaded. Double checked the camp a couple of times, and I guess we're off there between that island and the peninsula, and then down a little bit, I'm guessing a kilometer, maybe 2, and then we're portaging. So that'll be, we'll just warm up today, I think, with 5 portages, and then we'll kind of hit the main event of the 700 meter portage, and then we'll just cool down with another 2 portages after that. So we'll see how that goes. So that was the first portage. Took a little bit to find it, not too long, but so we're all loaded. Don't give me grief about how I loaded, because you can see that red tape over there. That's the next start of the next portage trail. I think maybe people could have gone through there, but I didn't find it, so we'll just paddle a little bit, unload, part 2. We are leaving behind the second portage of the day. This one was about 250 meters, 230, 250. The middle of it was very gucky, I would say. And we are heading off to, I think, just down a little ways. Won't be too long, and we'll be at the next portage. So
2 down, 8 to go.
Exactly, 2 down, 8 to go. So anyways, we'll see you at the next portage. So this is the 4th portage we finished. Just kind of loading the canoe up. As before we go, taking a breather of water. Bypassed that in the portage. I think we paddled just a little bit, maybe a kilometer or 2. For the 5th portage, should be down the road somewhere. The nice thing about these portage trails is they're very well marked with trail tape. So somebody this year must have gone through and marked them all. So if you're wondering where the portage trail is, look for the orange tape. Lunchtime on this unnamed lake. We have done 5 portages so far this morning. It's just noon or slightly after. And drying the feet out because they're pretty much all like muck and whatever. Or at least getting in and out of them. So we go to the end of this lake here, and we 100 meters and then 700 meters, I guess. So far, lots of mosquitoes, but we are having lunch, and for whatever it's worth today, and using up kind of more weight out of our pack, because I think we've got still a few more portages today. Just finished the 6th portage, and we're at 142. Took a little while to paddle there, and then of course this. So the portage is there. It was only 100 meters, so it was not bad. Ended in kind of a little watery channel we could sort of push our canoe through. The channel like this, we've been going through that all morning. So kind of not sure when that'll end, but you know, it's actually not too bad. I love channels like this, but all morning of it, sometimes you just look for the open water. You just hope for it. Anyways, we'll see you at the next portage.
Here I am at the elusive trail. I don't know if I'm at the elusive trail for portage, the 700 meter portage on the 2nd day. We just weren't able to find it. It was weird. All the other portages are so well taped. This one, not so much. So Mike has taken a hike to see if he can find where the trail is and then lead it back to wherever, which leaves me stuck. I mean, I can stand in the muskeg if I want, but stuck sitting in the canoe. You can see all of our stuff here, still all packed up, ready to unload at the head of the portage trail. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's getting later. I'm kind of hoping that Mike found the portage trail and is just kind of mapping it back, and then he'll be back soon because, you know, getting later. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that, but Mike is on his way back. He just ended up coming down that rock face over there. So maybe he has some noose. So anyway, I'm glad he's alive. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. Might have had to crack his sat phone somehow to figure out how to use it. But he's alive, so it's all good news.
Just waiting for Lynn to finish the final portage trip. Most of everything is loaded. This was the 7th portage, and we had a little trouble finding it, so I bushwhacked for way too long and found the trail, which was good news. And yeah, just that extra bit of exertion is really kind of takes it out of a guy. So we'll see what the rest of today goes, but I guess that'll be like 7 portages out of 10 for today. 3 more to go. It's 10 after 7 and we were scouting that rock out for pictographs. Didn't find any, but not quite sure where exactly to look on them. On the other side as well, and maybe it's over there.
Yeah, I see a little flash of red, Mike.
So 10 to 7, 1 more portage to go, about a kilometer away from us, and then after that, camp spot about a kilometer from there. So a late night tonight, probably no fire. We'll figure out what that means. So it's 20 to 8. Portage is done. 10th portage, so 10 portages today. About a kilometer on the left up there is supposed to be our camp spot. So let's hope it's there, and we still have the keys. So it's about 9:15 and we are on the camp island. It's actually a really nice camp spot. Very rocky, way out in the open. You can kind of see behind me over here. Like it's just, a beautiful place so that if you get a breeze, then you keep the mosquitoes and black flies off. We have here mosquitoes, black flies, and horse flies. So it's kind of an all-round island. We're watching this storm here. You can hear the rumblings every once in a while, and I think it's going to miss us to the left over there. So the stuff that's kind of behind the sunset over there, whatever that is, may come our way, but it so far hasn't been threatening like that this other one has. So we may not see anything, or we may see something tonight. Anyways, just kind of rehydrating with water and eating some cold supper, because we're not doing a fire, and let's not put a lot of effort into it, because this one was a long day.
It was a very long day.
It's a little after 7:30 in the morning. We've been out here for a little while, made coffee, and just sitting around watching this fantastic view. Lots of bird life, and just a beautiful morning with all of the calmness of the lake. It's going to be a scorcher today from what I understand. We checked the old satellite phone yesterday, and 29 degrees, folks. That should be fun. But today, if memory serves, and I'm going to have to check the map here, we'll be doing somewhere around 14 kilometers with only 2 or 3 portages, so that's an easy day in theory. We'll see what the practice is. So it's about 20 after 9. We are setting off. That's where we came from, and we're actually going to be turning around to go down that way. So we're leaving our beloved island behind. It was very nice to us yesterday. Good nights of sleep, and even with all of the pains. So we are going around to that bluff to see a falls, and then we head straight back that way. I think I might have misspoke if I said there's 2 portages today, but actually there's only one, and it's 50 meters. So we should be hopefully an easy day. There's the falls. It's we went about 2 kilometers out of our way, probably 3 altogether by the end of it, but just to see what this looked like from this side, we had to portage around it, and kind of thought, yeah, you know, let's just take this as a side trip and see what we see. So this is what we portaged around 50 meters, actually not a bad portage. Tough to get back into the water over there, but for the most part, this actually looks really nice. Now on to our lunch spot. So that's where we had lunch. It shows as a camp spot on the map. I don't know if I'd want to stay there. There's, well, not too much shade, and I couldn't find any tent spots. So I'd say okay lunch spot, but that would be about it. So it's just 12. Had lunch, did the only portage of the day, so now it's really just paddle, and then kind of at the bottom of this lake we'll start looking for a camp spot. And the map just says there's opportunities everywhere in the islands there, so we'll see how it goes. Well, it's just after 3, and we made it to McMillan Island, which is in Forbes Lake. It's one of the southern islands, and the note on my map says campsite opportunities in amongst the islands of the southern portion. So I think this is kind of the start of it, so we'll just tool around here a little bit, see what we can find, and find something nice. You may be noticing all of the kind of dead stuff over there. That's from a forest fire in 2015. We're starting to enter a portion of the lake where we actually get stuff that hasn't been touched by fire and in quite a while. So hopefully, you know, some of the views will be more of older forest rather than this new stuff coming up, which has its own charm as well. So it's 10 to 4. We've got our camp spot. Lynn looked back at the island forlornly and noticed, hey, that point over there looks promising, and that's where this is. So it's got a campfire there on the rock, so that's kind of nice. And then the camp spot itself is fairly open with a few different tent opportunities. And then over here we have another campfire. Where's the other campfire?
By my bag, black bag.
Oh, over here. So there's the other campfire. So if you need to be a little bit more secluded and it's windy or something, that's good to go. But for the most part, looks okay. Have some wood here that we might be able to just scrounge off. Looks mostly rotten, but and then maybe some stuff in there. And then if I look up there, there seems to be a plethora of things. So we'll see where this goes, but so far it looks like a good score. It's almost 8:30 and we've kind of got most of our stuff put away. Today's meal was Grayson sausage with some veggies. Tied up the canoe real well. Beautiful night, kind of a bugger of a wind today, but in the end we made it here 3:30ish or so guess we can't complain too much about the wind. But camp's pretty tidied up for the morning, for the night, and we should be good. There's Lynn. So here it is, it's 20 after 7, coffee's made. Tent inside is done, just got to take the tent itself down. But you can see another beautiful, calm morning. Going to be a scorcher again today, from what I understand, checking the old satellite phone. And so I guess, well, we'll have to do what we can do. Today is, I think, 11 kilometers of paddling and 4 portages They're not particularly long, but the last one is 400 meters, so that's a little unfortunate this morning. Either way, we'll sit here for a little while, drink our coffee, and enjoy the loons. It's about 10 after 9. Loaded the canoe, just a matter of getting into it and putting the last couple of touches on. Went through the campground to make sure we didn't leave anything, nothing hanging up. So I think we're pretty good. So today we're going to be heading out, I believe, that way. I'll double check the map just to make sure when I get in a boat, and then we dipsy doodle around some islands and then head down into Weaver River. We're just entering Weaver River. It's about 10:15, so about an hour of paddling. Portage, I think we're looking at it here, so we'll see where we go with it. We just finished our first portage. It's 1:45, and that's what we portaged around, if you can see it. And now we're just going down here. Portage is probably on the right again. I think we're hitting again another rapids we got to go around.
This is a pretty little falls at the bottom of the second portage. Today, our third day on, this is on Weaver River, so we have one more portage before we get to Champagne Island and the class, the 4-star, 5-star camp. Hopefully it lives up to its name. So one more portage. Mike should be coming with the canoe right about now. And yep, there he is. Say hi, Mike. Hey, so you see that rock face right there? That's actually the trail. And yeah, so we were mountain goating it for a little bit, and right beside, going straight in to that. So that was a fun experience.
So it's 1:30. Just finished our final portage of the day. I think, looking at that island over there, if you can pick out which parts of the island is where we're going. So it's only a couple of kilometers of paddling, a little bit of a wind. It's a bit of a bugger sometimes, so we'll see how we do. Well, welcome to Champagne Island. This is been described. This spot has been described as a 5-star establishment. I guess that's pretty good. We got here around 2:30 or so. So you start to see we're getting close to Mississippi, so you start to see amenities like a bench and then various pathways and mossy areas that you can set your tents. So kind of a lot of potential here, and a lot of wood actually sitting around that a person can use. So we're just sitting here watching all these storms kind of pass us by. We had to battle a pretty tough wind to get here, and just kind of thought maybe we would run into a bit of a storm. So we were being chased by it. Got in, got a tarp up, and then it never really did anything. Maybe a little sprinkle. But better to be safe than sorry. So it's 8:45. We're all packed up, ready to go. You can see everything's going to be a little rocky, wavy. I think the waves are going with us. Hopefully it's not too much with us, but we'll give her a try. A few kilometers to the portage, and then we're pretty much into Hayman. And from there it's fairly well known, and we'll see where we go. Welcome to Clark Falls, everybody. We were here last year, so that's the falls. It's kind of nice looking. I think a lot of people come here to fish. That portage was okay. It was a little longer than we remember, but I think we took kind of the extended version of it this go around, but that's fine. It was short and sweet. It's 5 to 10, and so now it's just we're on Hayman and we just paddle until the next portage, or probably till lunch. So I think we're about 2 kilometers away, maybe a little bit more than 2 kilometers away from Great Devil Rapids over there. Just stopping in this lee of this island here, and it was a little whitecappy out there, kind of going straight down Hayman, which for the most part was okay, except it started getting more sideways to us when we were kind of going south to get to this side, or to just straighten out with Hayman. So anyways, it's only right now it's 11:15, so if we take off now, there's a camp spot just before Great Devil Portage that we should be able to maybe stop and have a break and maybe think about a lunch or something. We'll see. So we came to this island that we've stayed at before just as it was raining, and we just had a dozen yards or so to go before we got here, so we just decided to paddle on. By the time we got here, the rain stopped, and then the wind dropped all down, so now it's starting to pick back up again. But this is a camp spot that's very near to Portage to Great Devil Rapids. The portage ends just around the corner up there, if you can see on the left shore. And the camp spots here, they've got a campfire there, a campfire here, oddly enough, just a couple over. And then I believe, if memory serves, there's probably another one in the woods over there somewhere. So decent enough camp spot, but when we stayed here before, we found that tent spots were at a bit of a premium, so looks like some folks may have cleared some more spaces out for tents. But all in all, this has been an interesting day. It felt like the wind was literally throwing us down Hayman, and so we got here in record time. It's a little bit early for lunch, but we might just do a quick lunch or even a slow lunch before we go to the portage, and hopefully the campground in the small lake between the two rapids is free, and that's our destination. So I portaged the first load over the Great Devil Portage. I always forget how long a kilometer is to portage stuff. I still have the canoe to go, not looking forward to that. In theory, this island, if it's not really being used by anybody, is where our destination is. And right now it's 12:30, so we still have lots of time. I can rest the canoe a few times on the way if I need to, so we'll see how that goes. I'll just wait for Lynn to finish her first load, and then we'll head off together. So the island in the middle of the lake between Great Devil and Little Devil is taken already, evidently, so plan B, I guess, we'll maybe run down to Mosquito. So first we gotta run Little Devil Rapids. Don't know what it's like, haven't run it for a while, but wish us good luck. Well, we just ran Little Devil Rapids. They had parts of it with this higher water that could have easily swamped us. This is, you're looking at the run out from the third. But you know, we were able to stay off the center and kind of go through some of the kind of more fringe stuff where water's high enough, the rocks aren't an issue. So we were lucky there, and now we can just sail on into Devil Lake. No more portages, and we now have to find a camp spot or go home. So it's about 3 o'clock. We are on campsite plan B, which is Mosquito Rapids. So they're running pretty nice this year. Right now very sunny, but it's been cloudy most of the day, and I actually don't mind it too much. We pulled in, we haven't put the tent up yet. Just kind of changing footwear, pulling things out of the pack, and maybe having a little rehydration with the water before we kind of get to more camp chores. And really this is a day of, we know tomorrow we just have a 45 minutes paddle of, you know, if the weather's decent, 45 minutes across the bay. So we'll just relax here, try to shout when we talk to each other over the rapids, and at night hopefully we can sleep with this big noise machine going. So this is Manitou Island now. We're just paddling past it, and it just took the forest fire this past week, I guess.